You know, what would you tell someone if they're just finding out they're getting diagnosed today? What's something you can tell them right now to help them have maybe the positive outcome that you've had?
Um, I would be like, you may not get the answer that you were hoping for, but whatever the case, embrace it. You know, and I know that sounds bad saying embrace your cancer, but you can't, you've got it. So you can't fight it. So go into it with a positive attitude that you're going to win, that you're going to beat it. So don't go in there and be like, oh man, already, it's like I'm done. No, don't do that. Go in there with the attitude of whatever it is, you can beat it. And that's what Kim, she did. And she goes, you know what? Whatever the news we get today, we'll go through it together. We will get through this. She said, you get through it one day at a time. Don't look at 6 months down the road. Look at tomorrow. What tomorrow going to be?
No, I love that, Gary. What advice would you give someone, that's going to go to the internet after they've heard something from the doctor?
Guilty. Don't believe everything the internet says. For me, and I'm not plugging, it's not a plug for MD Anderson, but they told me, said, look, you can Google or you go to our website and we will have stuff about it. Mayo Clinic, they have stuff that explains what you have. Sloan Kettering, I think that's the one. Moffitt, all of them, they have stuff on their websites that will explain stuff. Yeah, you can Google, you can read. I did. I was guilty of it. Some of it freaked me out. When you look and you get things, I love the fact that how much technology you can read and you can try and understand something, but in our simple minds, what we think we understand may not be what the doctor means. So, you could look at a test result and go, oh, okay. Oh, that's not good. But then you talk to the doctor and the doctor goes, blah, 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 blah. Hey, he goes, everything's this is a little this. And it's like, it wasn't what you thought it was. So if you read it on the internet, don't let it freak you out. It's informational. If you've got questions, reach out to your doctor, to your, or maybe somebody who's went through it. I mean, I for one, I had a guy that I met that he went through basically the same thing, except he's got a colostomy where I've got an ileostomy. He was there for me to answer questions as I was going through stuff. He would share little bits and stuff like that, knowing that where I was in the journey, he wouldn't share too much until, then when I called him and I'm like, hey, I got a question. I'm kind of freaking out here a little bit. And he goes, okay. He goes, don't freak out. I went through the same thing. This is boom, boom, boom. This is what's going to happen. So for me, it was great to meet him, to be able to share, to go through that. And it's just like you've introduced me to some people that I was able to share with them what I went through. So, the what to expect. You get the news. Don't let it be the end of your world. Because if you go into it with that mindset, then it is going to be the end of your world.
Absolutely. Well, giving great advice, Gary. Gary, is there something that I haven't asked you that you'd like to talk about? And you're doing amazing, man. You need a drink of water.
Yeah. Let's see. Give me a minute here.
You're natural at this.
Some people say I talk too much, but
No, you.
Um, Something that we hadn't talked about is just, you know, 20, 30 years ago, cancer, I guess, was kind of a death sentence. You know what? It's not anymore. With the technology and the science and the stuff, there are more and more ways that they are able to, wouldn't say find cures, but to stop, slow it down, get rid of it. Um, so don't let the fact, if you get a bad diagnosis, don't let it don't let it destroy you. It's going to devastate you. It's going to devastate you regardless, because it does, because you, again, you go that, I think that first thing is the why me. Why did this have to happen to me? You can get in that pity party. So don't let it get you in that pity party. If you have someone close to you, if you're not married, if you don't have a spouse, you don't have a significant other, reach out to someone who you trust, who can be your support group, who is going to be there for you no matter what. So that is the big thing.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, Gary, today has been amazing hearing your story and your journey. And, on behalf of everybody that's watching this, I want to thank you for being so bold, and we wish you the best and continue to lift you up in prayers and support you. I just got one more question. Why is it that you wanted to share with the Richard Reyes Foundation? You could have just went on an island and just let this be done, but why did you want to share with us today?
Because, Richard, I want my story, if it helps one person, great. If it helps thousands, great. But I want people to know that there is still hope for those who have been diagnosed with cancer. Don't give up the fight. Tell people, keep on going, keep going. I just want to share my story with everybody. I don't have an issue with it. I'm not ashamed. It's an old saying that I was told in the Navy. It is what it is. It's not always good, but it is what it is, and we'll get through it one day at a time.
I appreciate it. And, hey, thank you. Thank you. And I just got to tell you, Gary, publicly, that you were there for me in the middle of my journey. When I came up to the bike shop, I remember you showed me your bag. You're very bold and said, hey, bro, I got you if you need anything. And here you are today, still giving. And, I've got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I had a gentleman that was introduced to me in the middle of stage 3 colorectal cancer. And I was able to connect them with Gary, just like you're able to hear from him today. And he was able to provide him some tips behind the scenes. Take all those big words and big phrases that you hear from the doctors and give it to him in plain English. So that way, the blinders are off. And, hopefully today you've heard from Gary that it's not over. Keep the faith, stay positive, listen to your body, and so much more tips. I want to encourage y'all to go back, rewind, watch this, share this with your friends, like and subscribe. We got more. This isn't the only time you're going to hear from Gary. We're going to continue to follow him and track him. And he's decided to join the foundation and be one of the avid supporters of the group and to continue to provide content for all of you. So thank you, Gary, for doing this today.